Let's go next to Tyler in Vancouver, our friendly neighbors to the north.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Tyler.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Tyler. I'm doing well.
Excellent. I have a question. I'm sure if you've covered this before, but it seems from afar that the Republican Party and its supporters have laid claim to this idea of American patriotism in the name of their cause and no one else's. I don't know if it's become a big recruiting tool for American right, but it feels like it's everyone who's not with them is an anti-American fascist.
Right. Yeah. No, this is not new. I mean, it probably goes back many decades, but as far as I've been covering politics during the George W. Bush era, if you didn't support the war in Iraq, you weren't really a patriot. That became a big talking point then.
Yeah, and so my question is, how has it become that the right has laid claim to patriotism, and what can the left do to reclaim that from them?
Yet George Lakoff has written about this quite a bit. The right has not only succeeded on taking patriotism, they've succeeded on framing and branding on a bunch of different issues. Pro-life sounds great, and they succeeded on that. Tax relief is another one that George Lakoff, wow, that's a relief. You're removing the burden of taxation. This is not unique to patriotism, and I don't have any unique ideas on it other than to say I would look at Lakoff on this and some of his suggestions, and Democrats just aren't very good at this. I mean, listen, if it were me, I would say patriotism should be about look at how well we take care of everybody from the standpoint of healthcare. Look at how well designed our cities are to have great public transit and green spaces and connection between richer and poorer. None of these things are true now, but like those would be the types of things for me that seem like the ones I would want to be patriotic about, rather than like we have the most weapons or we, have the most guns or whatever. I think it needs to be a complete paradigm shift on framing.
I completely agree. And just on one more note on that is that how I'm trying to figure out the best way to kind of ask this is if the left's ideas are somehow seen as anti-American, like repealing or not repealing the Second Amendment, but having stronger gun security and all that kind of stuff, how can we fight against that being an anti-American value when it's just not? It's a better for the entire country.
It's really just it's unfortunately merely a propaganda and rhetorical war at this point. So you just have to be better at rhetoric. That's that simple.
Yeah. And it's kind of a shame that's what politics come to these days.
I know.
There you go.
I agree with you. I
appreciate the call. Thanks so much.
Tyler from Vancouver, thank you so much for the call. Very much appreciate it.